Hi there, this is Nikolaos Floratos, the founder of Funding Expert Academy. Well, you might be surprised because this is not the normal setting that you normally have in my videos, in my studio, with my cameras, with my lights, with my computer. I am in mainland in Greece, in the mountains. I've just come here with my mountain bike. I am in the river. Now it looks like a stream. This is Evinos in the mountain side of Naupactia. You see a lot of insects coming around me. Well, this is nature, but because of this nature I was actually inspired to tell you a very nice concept regarding how to submit successful proposals in European funding, and I believe that you will be also excited as I am with this nice scenery around me, the nature. Well, the methodology that I would like to highlight to you very shortly is the CIRCUS methodology, which for people that have attended my training courses, either the online one or the face-to-face ones, it is a more condensed but equally powerful formula similar to the I create system. So this CIRCUS formula consists of 6 steps that anyone that wants to submit successful European funded proposals needs to follow. So this CIRCUS formula consists of the first step, which is C from CIRCUS. It is confirm. I will explain later what that is. The second one is I, which means innovate. The third step is R, which means read, and I will explain, elaborate further on that. The fourth step is from the CIRCUS formula, confirm and connect. Confirm is the first one, connect is the fourth one, and the next one, the fifth one, is understand, and the sixth one is submit. So let me explain to you one by one what are these different steps that everyone has to follow in order to submit a successful proposal, either in Horizon 2020, which is very challenging, but you need to follow that formula in order to increase by far your chances to have a winning one, either in Erasmus Plus or in Creative Europe or Europe for Citizens. But it is a formula that you need to follow all the time. The name CIRCUS comes from, it's an ancient Greek Latin word, means the circle. So this circle of steps have to be repeated, these 6 steps, anytime, every time that we submit a proposal in order to exploit European funds and have a winning one. So let's start with the first step. The first step is confirm. So what we need to confirm first of all? First of all, we need to confirm what is our mission and our vision of our organization. Why we want to submit a proposal and exploit funds? Well, definitely, and this should be the answer immediately in this question, because this European funding program supports our mission and our vision as an organization. Of course, you understand that when we are talking about mission and vision of an organization, this organization has to have a clear mission and vision. So the first step that we need to do, even for our own organization or for our clients, is to confirm what is the mission and the vision of this organization. Now, as soon as we have clarified that, then the next step that we need to confirm is that this European funding program supports our mission and vision. And then the third one that we need to have and ensure is that we need to confirm that we can submit a similar project to the ones that have already been submitted and accepted. And what I mean with that? I mean that we need to check what kind of other activities and what kind of other projects have been submitted and have been receiving some grant in order to see, are we able to deliver projects of that size, of that scope, of that ambition? Because if we cannot submit similar projects of that ambition, of that size, maybe because our vision and mission is much lower, then we need to look for another funding opportunity. The other thing that we need to have under the confirm step is we need to confirm that we can have an open channel of communication with key actors in this program. And when I mean, first of all, with an open channel of communication, and then I will explain what I mean with the key actors in this program. First of all, when we say an open channel, we mean, can we answer, can we question, can we raise some questions to key actors in this program in order to clarify some elements? Can we, for example, contact the authorities, the funding authorities, and have more clear view about the program that we are aiming? Can we contact experts that they are going to evaluate our proposal under this program and ask their views, of course, before submitting the proposal, and just connecting with them, I mean, not doing something else, connecting with them and asking questions and taking their knowledge. And the other element that we need to confirm, first of all, is are we satisfied with the success rate of this program? For example, in Horizon 2020, the success rate is around 12%. So are we satisfied with this success rate, which means around 1 out of 7 proposals just are going to be funded in Horizon 2020? So we need to take that into consideration. In Erasmus Plus, the success rate is around 18%, which means 1 out of 5 proposals are going to be accepted under this program, Erasmus Plus. Are we feeling comfortable with that? Because if we're not feeling comfortable with these questions that I'm just raising, then this program is not confirmed for us. We cannot actually go on with this one. We need to look for another funding opportunity. And believe me, there are many funding opportunities, and some of them have much higher, for example, success rate. Let's take the Eurostar, the Eureka European funding program that has a success rate for innovative SMEs around 30 to 35%. And the last thing that we need to have as a confirmation is confirm the available time that we have ahead of us in order to submit a successful proposal. So, do we have at least 2 months ahead of us before the submission deadline in order to prepare, to have the time and get the resources of submitting a successful proposal? Because if we don't have that much time available and the deadline is next week, then we need to give a second thought and say, okay, let's stop, we don't have the time, this is not confirmed, we are going to exploit this funding program, if we're going to exploit it, next year. Don't forget that most of the funding programs have calls that are repeated at least every year. So we've covered, I believe, fully the step 1, which is confirm. So now the second step that we need to do is innovate. So innovate, it means coming up with bright ideas, new and useful ideas, not just new ideas, but also useful ideas that haven't been developed or implemented so far. So we need to be innovative. So how can we do that? Well, there are many methodologies in order to come out with innovative ideas. It is brainstorming, it is 65 technique, is affinity diagrams, it's project development concepts. So there are many, and many of them I cover in my trainings also. And I'm planning to write another article or produce a video on all those different methodologies. But if you just Google any of those names, you will see very useful information on what kind of methods you can follow in a group, so take advantage of the group dynamics in order to come out with bright ideas, innovative ideas. And remember what I mean with innovative ideas, I mean new and useful. Something that we're not supposed to forget, however, when we are applying any of those different methods, brainstorming, 65 technique, affinity diagrams, and etc. Anyone that attends those sessions needs to be in advance prepared. What does that mean? That means that whenever you invite some people from your group to discuss about some ideas that you want to develop as the basis for your proposal, tell them something more. Tell them about the mission and vision of your organization. Tell them about the main scope of the European funding program. Tell them what you're expecting from them. You're expecting from them, for example, to come out with 3 ideas that support the mission, the vision, and the scope of this European funding program, and they need to be innovative. And in order to help them to come out with innovative ideas, maybe you want to direct them to see what kind of other projects have been funded from that European funding program. So they need to come prepared, and of course, you need to have a formula on how you're going to rank the different ideas that your group will come out with. So you need to first put some priorities, some criteria. The first priority, the first criterion on that could be, we are going to take ideas that support definitely our mission and most importantly our vision, or we're going to take ideas that we are more closer in their ambition, so they are more realistic for our size as an organization. And the last thing that you need always to have in mind is that you need to actually respect the time of your group, respect the time of the members in your group, which means that they need to be aware of the time duration of this brainstorming, brainwriting, or any other technique that you follow. Is it going to be 1 hour, 1 hour and a half? Is it going to be maximum 2 hours? Well, respect that time. And your ultimate aim from that exercise, from that exploitation of the group dynamics, is to come with just 1 or maximum 2 ideas that you're going to use as the basis, as the foundation of your proposal, and is going to have all these innovative elements that you require in order not to avoid reinventing the wheel. So as soon as we have also the Innovate step covered, then we need from the CIRCUS formula, CI, we need the R, which means read. Read all the reference material related to that program. Read, or even more importantly, study all the material that has been produced from info days related to that program. What is an info day? Info day is a program that is an event that informs the potential applicants about the details of the program. What is actually required, what kind of projects are required from this program, what the winning projects should have. So you need definitely study that material. That material from the info days could be slides, could be some further studies, could be some interesting projects as a reference. And also what you need to read is any other studies related to that program, as well as now read in a little bit more detail any featured or any, to your view, projects that have been funded from that program in from previous calls, and they can be used as paradigms, as good examples. In order to understand the concept behind it, what is the meaning, why we want this program. So we need to read a lot on that. Then the fourth step that we need to take from the CIRCUS formula is the C, which is not confirmed, as it was the first step, but it is connect. What does that mean? That means now that we have what we have so far from our steps. We have an idea that is innovative, we have tested, internally validated with our members in our group, and we have already picked up a program that we believe is the most appropriate for implementing further this idea that supports our mission and vision. So now what we need is we need to connect for many different purposes. First of all, we need to connect with experts and actors from the funding program in order to confirm that this is the most appropriate program for our project, for our idea. We need to connect also for attracting competent partners. So that means that our proposal, specifically in European funding programs, cannot be submitted in most of the cases by one applicant. So we need to show this European dimension and show that this is a joint effort. So we need to have also competent partners in order to attract competent partners, as well as to receive valuable feedback from the funding authority and the experts, we need to provide them something. Definitely that something should be more than just the idea that we have already elaborated. So in that respect, now we need to have the project concept, the proposal summary. So that proposal summary should be a document of 2 to 3.5 pages maximum that outlines our project. So the main elements of that proposal that I give also a lot of attention in my classes, and I teach people how to develop that kind of proposals that are really attractive, is we have an idea. So our idea is going to be the scope and the aim of our project. So we have that. We have now already the scope and the aim that we have developed from the group dynamics, from the brainstorm, brainwriting, and the other techniques. Then, based on that scope and aim, of course we need a name. We need to baptize our project because, first of all, it's going to be used as a reference and facilitates the communication, but also with a name, it gets more value. It has a personality, let's say, our project. So our baby now, our project, because it is our baby, starts getting more and more personality. So from that scope and name, we have the title, we have the name, and now what else we need is, from that scope, we need to identify related problems. What are the challenges that our project idea is going to address? So we need always to start with challenges. We always need to start with problems. And even in our proposal, not only in our summary, but whenever we are preparing our proposal, in the first paragraph of our proposal text, we need, after we have the aim, we need to have problems. What will be the problems? You see there are a lot of insects here. What are the problems that our proposal is going to address? The more the problems, the more the challenges, the more useful, the more pertinent is our proposal. So we have the problems, and whenever we list them in our proposal, and whenever we have problems, what do we need? Now we need solutions. So the solutions are going to be the objectives, not the scope, specific objectives of our project, of our proposal, that of course are related to the scope also of our idea. So we have the problems, then we have the solutions. The solutions are our objectives, which means our actions. We need to do that, so we formulate it as verbs, as infinites. And then, from whenever we have an action, always we have outcomes. So from the solutions, from the objectives, then we list the outcomes of our project. So this is also very important, and the outcomes are the project outputs, the project results, the what. And we formulated them as nouns. So as soon as we have the what we expect to deliver from our objectives, from our actions, then very nicely now we can specify what? We can specify, as the next section in our proposal, the target group. What is a target group? Is which group will benefit from our results, from our outcomes, from our products. So now we need to take one by one each one of our results and ask the question, who will benefit from this outcome, and answer that question. So as soon as we have elaborated also the outputs, now from the outputs we have, as we said, the target groups, the beneficiaries, the stakeholders who will benefit, and also we need one more, and we can get one more information from the outputs. And what is that? This is the kind of activities that we need in our implementation plan in order to deliver those results, in order to deliver those outputs. So this is the work plan, a preliminary work plan. A work plan can be something like project management activity, dissemination, exploitation activity, user needs analysis, what we actually need in more depth to design. Then the design phase, what is the design phase? We specify on paper what we're going to implement. Then the development phase, which is the actual implementation of what we described on paper. And then we have the pilot testing, the pilot run. So whatever we develop, then we need to test it with end users, with someone, with something, in order to see that it works, even if it is in Horizon 20 a laboratory test or a simulation. And then after this testing, we have what? We have received some feedback on what kind of improvements we can do in order to improve those results. So then we have the improvement, the refining, the fine-tuning phase, which can be another phase or it can be part of the implementation. So now we have more or less, this is as a rule of thumb, a general framework of what could be or should be our implementation work plan. And now that we have the implementation work plan, what else do we need? Now we need competencies, we need specific skills from organizations that we're going to engage in order to undertake or lead these activities. So they should be experts, they should be some people that they have really high competencies in the different activities that we described in the work plan. So we need a project manager with profound experience in managing similar projects. We need someone with high skills and high competencies and achievements in dissemination and exploitation. And going on, we need also an organization with high skills and competencies in user needs analysis, another one in design, another one in development, or more than one in development. It depends on how complex our system is. And we need also end users in order to undertake the pilot run or say an organization to lead the pilot or the testing phase. And we need also good developers in order to again redevelop, re-improve our product. So we understand now that what we have specified now the profiles, not specific organizations, but the profiles we need of organizations that are going to be engaged in order to implement our working plan. So now we're done. This is the proposal summary that we need to undertake, and this is part of the fourth step. So from the connection. So now we have received feedback from the final the funding authority. We have received feedback from the experts. We have engaged the consortium by identifying what kind of skills we need, and through the connection we're going to attract them from our network, from Info Days, by looking on different on previously funded projects and finding key partners there, from social media groups like Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups related to the program that we're targeting. So now we have our consortium. Now the next step from the CIRCUS formula is U, which means understand. Well, what that means? It means one thing: understand how evaluators evaluate your proposal. And this is very important. Why? Because when we're talking for a program that we are aiming that has 12%, that if it is Horizon 2020, or Erasmus, or 18% if it is Erasmus Plus, what does that mean? That means that there are 82 chances, or even more, 88 chances that our proposal is going to be a failed one. Well, this is something that in most of the cases, or in all of the cases, the evaluators are thinking even subconsciously. The mind of the evaluator, when he is going to evaluate a proposal, he is negatively biased. What does that mean? That means that he or she believes that any proposal that they have to evaluate personally has 82, 88% chances of being a failed proposal, a rejected proposal. So what does that mean? That means that we need in our application to change this mindset of the evaluator. So we need to impress him or her from the very beginning, from the first paragraph, from the title, from the consortium, from the first section. So this is very important to understand how the evaluators think. There is a specific formula on that. Is called criteria formula, a formula that I teach also in my classes, but this is just a technique. What you need to remember, and this is important, while you are developing your proposal, while you are writing the proposal section, is how I'm going to impress the evaluators. With an excellent paragraph, with an excellent consortium, by identifying pertinent problems, challenges, and by giving the proper solutions and confirming the impact that I'm going to create with this, from this project, but as well as the trans-European added value, the exploitation, the dissemination plan, the implementation methodology. So these are parts of the criteria formula. But the important thing when you are completing the different sections of the application form is how am I going to impress the reader, and I'm going to convince him or her that I'm not in the 82 or 88%, but I am in the winning proposals. So we have the understand step outlined, and then we have before understand also, sorry, let me tell you also something else regarding the, as you see I don't have notes, so I have to think very quickly. Here is also one part of the understand process is we need, in order to understand how the evaluators think, ask an evaluator, when you have your final draft, when you have your idea, when you have your proposal sample, when you have your final draft, when you have your consortium before that, their views. What do you think of my proposal idea, my proposal summary, my consortium, my final draft? Please give me comments of becoming better. So you need to ask an evaluator, someone that evaluates proposals before submitting the proposal, before going to the next step, to give you feedback. The more feedback you have, the more improvements you need, the greater your proposal is going to be. So you need to have that also, an evaluator evaluating your proposal in different stages. A lot of physics here. Now, the next and last step is the S, which means the submit step. Now we have the final draft, we have it evaluated also by an external expert. So now what we need to do? Now we need to submit it. Well, first of all, we need to have everything ready and submit it at the latest at the morning of the submission deadline date. Because a lot of things happen, I've seen that from personal experience, a lot of things happen if we try to deliver something at the last moment. The server might be down, the internet connection in our premises might be down, something might go wrong, and you know Murphy's Law, I'm not going to repeat that. So try to submit your proposal at the latest at the morning of the submission deadline date. So this is important. Now, as soon as you do that, by following the protocol and by having also trained someone from your administrative staff to master this process and assist you in submitting the application form, then you take a big breath, you have a smile, and now you send a thank you message to all your contributors, to all the partners in your consortium. They have supported you in order to write the proposal, even to the silent ones. There are going to be some silent partners or not that active in some proposals. Maybe take that in mind, thank all of them, and take that in mind for the next proposal that you're going to submit. Then tidy up your space, tidy up your virtual space, your physical space, your desk, because everything is going to be in a mess. Put the final versions in the final section, put everything that is not final in the draft section. The same too with your physical environment. Prepare everything, because you're going to know the results of your application something like 6 to 8 months after the submission deadline. Which means that who knows what will happen in 6 or 8 months from now. Maybe someone else will take over your project, or you will be doing just proposals and someone else will be implementing the project. So they need to know where to find the information that they need. And last but not least, under the submit process, is celebrate. Now you can celebrate, and don't wait to celebrate until you hear the evaluation results from the funding authority. Celebrate now and celebrate also afterwards. Why you need to celebrate now? First of all, because it is worth it. Because you have been investing a lot of resources, you have been investing a lot of time with other contributors in order to submit a proposal. It is going to be a great proposal. So that means now that it is worth it, a celebration. So go for a drink, go with a drink with your contributors, with your team. Enjoy it, because it is worth it. But the second reason for celebrating, which is to my view by far more important, is by celebrating you trick the mind, and the next time that you are going to write a proposal, the mind is going to pump up you with energy, it's going to pump up you with motivation in order to write a great proposal, because you're going to have fun afterwards, and this is the great thing. So I hope you enjoyed my CIRCUS formula in order how to submit the 6 steps in order to exploit successfully and submit great proposals in any European funding program, if it is Horizon 2020, if it is Erasmus Plus, Creative Europe, Active Citizenship, and so on and so forth. What I would like you to do is just 2 things. The first thing that I would like you is to comment below and give any views that you have from this video, from what I said. And the second thing is follow up with me in the Funding Expert Academy program in order to give me the chance to give you and transfer you more knowledge from my experience as 19 years now as an evaluator, project proposal developer and a trainer in the European funding area. Thank you for watching. I hope you can enjoy the similar scenery as it is here around with me, without the insects of course, and I'm looking forward for your comments. Take care and keep up.